First question. Which of the following statements are correct? Political parties are allowed to have star campaigners for seeking votes in elections. They are nominated by the Election Commission of India, specifying their constituencies and duration of stay and the expenses incurred. The Election Commission has issued guidelines under the Model Code of Conduct regulating poll campaign by them. A recognized political party can have 40 star campaigners and a registered unrecognized political party can have 20. Amongst the given statements, the second statement is incorrect. So this eliminates option A, B and D, and hence the correct answer is option C. See, a star campaigner is a popular celebrity-like figure who is used by political parties during elections for campaigning. This person can either be a politician or a film star or any other popular figure who is believed by the political party to have vote-fetching abilities. There is no specific law which defines as to who can become a star campaigner. This status is given by political parties and they can nominate star campaigners. This is what makes the second statement incorrect, because star campaigners are nominated by the political parties themselves, not by the Election Commission of India. Political parties nominate such star campaigners in order to use their popular appeal to fetch more votes for the party. So there is no specific law that governs as to who can be made star campaigners, and this is left to the discretion of the political parties, and they can nominate star campaigners by suitably specifying the constituencies where they will be campaigning, including the duration of their campaign and the expenses incurred to the Election Commission of India. However, the Election Commission has put in place a set of guidelines under the Model Code of Conduct in order to regulate campaigning by the star campaigners. As per the existing rules, a recognized political party is allowed to nominate a maximum of 40 star campaigners, whereas an unrecognized but registered political party is allowed to nominate a maximum of 20 star campaigners. So the significance of star campaigners is not just with regard to their ability to attract votes for the party, but it also has a lot to do with poll expenditure or election-related expenditure. As you might know, the Election Commission places a maximum cap on the campaign expenditure that can be incurred by each individual candidate. For Lok Sabha elections and as well as for Legislative Assembly elections, a different expenditure threshold has been set by the Election Commission, and the candidates will have to strictly ensure that their overall election spending is within this cap prescribed by the Election Commission. So they need to report all the expenses being incurred, and the Election Commission also keeps a track of these expenses. If a candidate breaches the expense cap, then the Election Commission would be empowered to even take action against the candidate. But however, the usage of star campaigners brings an advantage to the political parties and the candidates, because the expenditure incurred during their campaigning is not added to the candidate's election expenditure. As per the provisions of the Representation of People's Act, these expenses incurred on a star campaigner, they are borne by the political parties and not by the contesting candidates. This exemption is subjected to few terms and conditions, and accordingly, an individual candidate can seek exemption from expenses incurred on a star campaigner, provided if the star campaigner has limited himself to general campaigning only for the party and not for the candidate. If the star campaigner shares the stage with the candidate, then the entire campaign cost, except for the travelling cost, would be added to the expenses of the candidate. Then as per these conditions, the star campaigner is not even allowed to take the name of the candidate while campaigning in a particular constituency. If there are one or more candidates sharing the stage with the star campaigner, then the expenses incurred on the star campaigner will be shared equally by all the contestants. Even if a candidate is not physically present during a rally or a campaign with the star campaigner, but still his posters and photographs are used during the rallies of the star campaigner, even then the entire expense will be added to the expenses of the candidate. So basically, the star campaigner has to limit himself or herself to general campaigning, which involves seeking votes in favor of a particular political party, not in favor of the particular candidate in that constituency. If these conditions are met, then the expenses incurred on the star campaigner will be charged on the political party and not on the individual candidate. This topic was taken up because according to this article in The Hindu, the Election Commission of India has removed a star campaigner of the DMK from the list after he was found to be violating the Model Code of Conduct.